Oppal geng, hello. Hari ini kita ada di Bus Entertainment edisi spesial Puteri Indonesia 2023, and I am here with two very special guests, one of which flew straight from Germany, am I correct? And one of which is just freshly crowned, not even 24 hours ago. So a big round of applause for, as you can hear, we're not alone here. So I need the crowd support. But yeah, I'm happily introducing my two good friends and two beautiful queens. If you wanna.
I'm Miss International 2022, Jasmin Selberg. I'm 23 years old. I study history and philosophy, and I was crowned last year in Japan, in Tokyo.
Thank you, Jasmin, for the lovely introduction to pageant lovers. I bet they already know who you are, but we'll dig deeper. We'll dig deeper and further into who this beautiful Jasmin girl is. And
hello, Oppal gang. My name is Farhana Nariswari. I'm the new Puteri Indonesia 2023, and I'm from Jawa Barat.
Okay, so these are the two beautiful queens that has made time during their super busy schedule. As you can probably see that they're freshly out of the photo shoot.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Seems like you've had quite some busy days. How much sleep did you get last night, ladies?
About 4 hours because I'm still jet lagged. So it's been hard today. It's been hard. I've been battling with myself. I drank so much coffee. And now I feel awake again.
Okay, thank God she's awake while she's here. Yeah, but what about you?
I feel like my life just changed in one day, and I kind of had zero sleep, but I'm super happy.
Yeah, but she's here. Zero sleep and only 4 hours of sleep, but looking gorgeous as ever. And I bet all of you, teman-teman di rumah, udah gak sabar pengen kenal lebih dekat sama dua sosok yang udah kita tunggu-tunggu dan banyak banget mencuri perhatian di malam grand final pemilihan Puteri Indonesia 2023 kemarin. Yang pertama mungkin kita bisa chit-chat sedikit. First and foremost with our freshly crowned Puteri Indonesia, Farhana. Panggilannya Farhana? Far. Oh, wow. Catat ya teman-teman, panggilannya Far. Mungkin teman-teman di rumah udah mikir ini trio namanya apa. Nah coba tuh Far apa tuh namanya.
Boleh. Ditunggu.
Oke, mungkin Farhana mau menceritakan sedikit a little bit more about yourself and the province that you represented.
Oke, halo Oppal gang, selamat malam. Perkenalkan kembali, nama aku Farhana. Aku 26 tahun. Aku lahir dan besar di Bandung, Jawa Barat, provinsi tercinta yang tentu kental sekali dengan budaya Sunda. Mungkin pemenang-pemenang sebelumnya di Puteri Indonesia itu banyak dari provinsi DKI Jakarta, Sumatera, Kalimantan, Bali, dan lain-lain. Dan I am more than proud to tell you that this is the first ever Red Borobudur crown that my province has ever got. So, thank you Yayasan Puteri Indonesia dan Mustika Ratu. Aku masih agak shock dan masih ngawang-ngawang gitu ya. Tapi this is real that my province sebelumnya itu pernah dapat posisi first runner-up, second runner-up, and also has got an achievement of winning Miss International in 2017 through Kevin Liliana. And yesterday officially the province of Jawa Barat has brought home the Red Borobudur crown, and I cannot wait to show you all the culture, the beauty, the nature of Jawa Barat.
And hopefully Indonesia soon through Miss International.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a little bit of an introduction about our Sundanese lady,
Yes.
Far. And maybe a little bit more about this gorgeous woman that I heard is from Cologne. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
I'm actually living in a really small town now.
Oh.
But I live like an hour away from Köln.
Cologne.
Yes.
Cologne. So where exactly do you live in now? And maybe a little bit of story of where you're from and how are things going on where you're from before you flew all the way to Indonesia?
So, I moved back to my hometown, which I grew up in. So, I've been around nature more for now again.
Mhm.
First, I was living in Dortmund City, which is also in West Germany.
Mhm.
And I must say, I miss the village life. Because now that I'm more famous in the world, I really need a time out sometimes. So chilling in nature and really taking walks in the forest is really helping me to
Aw.
focus on my mental health and also on just shutting off sometimes.
Mhm.
But lately, this year in particular, I have been only 7 weeks in Germany in total, and that not even in a row. So at the very beginning of the year, of course, after my crowning, I celebrated Christmas and New Year's with my family.
Mhm.
But then I almost immediately went to Estonia already for like 15 days
Mhm.
to film a pitch for a series, for a
Mhm.
TV series.
Mhm.
And then I came back to Germany for like a week, and then I had to work, of course. I work as a translator at expos usually.
Ah.
So I actually went to Austria to also translate there.
Mhm.
And then after Austria, I went to Berlin to the film festival and also to the European film market to learn more about movie directing and also about acting and what in general how to fund a movie, for example.
Mhm.
And then I almost immediately already went to Namibia
Mhm.
to, of course, meet Miss Supranational there. We went to an orphanage together
Mhm.
and gave donations as well. And then also, of course, I was also traveling Namibia. And then after Namibia, I went straight to to Estonia again
Mhm.
to film another movie, a short film to be exact, and also to just spend time with my family there and do some media tours, etc. And then I finally got to Belgium and started my duties as Miss International by attending beauty pageants, like national beauty pageants.
Yeah.
And then after Belgium, I was a week in Germany again, and then I went to the Czech Republic, and now I'm here.
Wow.
A day after I
Wow.
came back from the Czech Republic.
Oh my god, guys.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a lot.
it's a lot. It's
I've
a lot
been
for
so
me to
busy.
I didn't experience what she experienced, but just hearing about it, I needed a little bit like
Yeah,
a little bit of time.
Sometimes I feel like I might need a break, but by competing in beauty pageants, this is the life I chose. So of course I want to
Exactly.
live it, and I'm gonna have it only till October still.
Mhm.
So I want to experience as much as possible in that short span of time because already almost, I think, 6 months have passed.
Mhm.
So there's not much time left because in the blink, like you blink, and then 6 months have passed, like just like that.
Yeah.
So now I was happy to be here, attend Puteri Indonesia, do the media tours with you in the past few days, and also like what was very important to me. I was joking I'm doing Miss Earth duties, and I wrote that to Miss Earth because she's a very good friend of mine. We met in Belgium, and we have talked before, and she laughed about it. She was like, "Yeah, you are," because we are. When I met Miss Earth, for example, we were like basically the same person.
Oh, how so?
Character-wise,
She's from Korea, is it?
She's from Korea,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we got along right off the bat.
Oh, that's beautiful. I think just from this quick chit chat, I'm already getting so much information
You are.
from Yasmin because she's like, one, if anything, I got the amazing insight that even though you are more famous now, even though you get a lot of exposure, you're still prioritizing. You know what to prioritize. You're like, I want to be amongst the nature. I need to recharge.
Really, yeah.
My mental health come first, which I think is super important.
It is.
Second of all, I think what I also noticed is the fact that you're collaborating with a lot of your beauty queen sisters. You're
Yes.
with Miss Supranational,
And you know
Miss
why that
Earth.
is?
How,
Because we, as pageant queens in general, we should all work towards the same goal.
amen.
We all want to make the world a better place, so why not work with that like kind of goal in your head, like together?
Mhm.
Because together we are actually united, we are stronger than just alone. But alone we can also reach things, for example. So
Yeah.
that's why I always say small changes have a big impact. And that is also like one thing that I want to give the world as my own mission.
Yeah, amen, amen. I think that's a beautiful message. Far, if anything, there anything that you want to add regarding this? Because I think this goes in line with the spirit of Puteri Indonesia, which does not only crown one queen, right? But
Yes.
promotes sisterhood even before the three crowns down to the provinces. 45 girls, everyone in one sisterhood and community.
Yes, I mean, I myself have watched Puteri Indonesia over the years, and I have admired you and all the Puteri seniors in the last several years, and I cannot believe that I'm actually filling in and continuing their position. Like that's too big of a fact to digest right now. And the top three right now might still have a lot of insecurities that we doubt ourselves whether we will be able to be a good enough replacement and continue the legacy. But each time I met a putri like you and the other putris, they were always so humble and encouraging instead of discouraging. And I think the Putri sisterhood will forever be cherished and will forever be meaningful, that you guys always support each other and lift each other up. Never ever
course.
bring each other down.
Of course. As
Can
you
I add something?
Sure.
Please never say that you're a replacement for like another putri. It's
Oh.
more like it's evolving every year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
every new position is just you are meant to be there. You were
True.
meant to be because it was your destiny to be crowned that night.
Yes.
And even though you still doubt yourself,
Mhm.
you just need to believe in yourself that you really want to do the best that you can. And that sometimes is already enough to actually reach something, in my opinion.
Important.
Amen.
It is.
Amen.
We're taking notes, ladies and gentlemen. I think hearing it straight from the Miss International herself, that's a big key
it's-
takeaway, right?
Really, it's human to doubt yourself. I doubt myself all the time.
Mhm.
But then again, I think, why? Like, when I was crowned Miss International, I the first thing I did was I sat in my room, in my hotel room.
Mhm.
I looked at I had the crown with me during the first night, and I just looked at the box in silence. I was recharging my social battery, but then I was just looking at the box in silence. I was like, did that just happen? And I wonder how that was for you actually, because I call it post pageant depression.
Or excitement, or excitement.
It's like post concert depression.
Yeah.
You're like on a high, and then everything
Right.
like goes down, and then you think that's my reality now. And I
Yeah.
still think that sometimes by looking at all the travels and all the
Mhm.
charity work I've been doing. I've been
Yeah.
working with the SDGs as well. I've
Yeah.
been promoting that we need to support our local charities and organizations and brands, of course.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was also like, am I really doing the right thing? Am I doing enough? But
Mhm.
then again, I think like sometimes minimal steps really bring us forward as well.
Exactly.
So that's why I think like by carrying that message into the world, I can actually encourage other people to kind of believe in themselves more as well, and also start doing these little steps.
Amen.
And
Spoken
if
like a
I
true queen.
may add, it is about how this crown, for example, the Red Borobudur crown, is so well known by the public in Indonesia about what meaning lies behind this crown, you know? Like when there's a crowning moment, you're not only passing a crown, but you're passing all the legacy and all the hard work and all the experiences and all the achievements and all the future hopes that you pass down to the future Putri, you know. And I think that's what kind of gives me goosebumps that I will be carrying on this responsibility.
Yeah.
See, and that already tells me by that you know that this is the fact about the red crown.
Right.
It shows me that you're already at least enough to carry that
Exactly.
title.
Amen.
Because you're
Exactly.
aware of that.
Yeah.
You're aware of that. If you would like just walk like with a blindfold around
Mhm.
and not even think of that, that would make me think like,
Does she
Okay,
deserve it?
maybe she shouldn't walk around with that blindfold
Yeah.
because she might not appreciate it. But by you saying that you know how much of a responsibility it is, it already shows me that you are the right one for that crown.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Spoken like a true queen. I think that's the kind of encouragement that, you know, she embodies, um, cheering all women. You know what
No,
she
really.
did here?
It is
That's giving
just like
a pat in
that.
the back for someone who's needing of that encouragement. It's our first day.
Much
I
needed.
know, and I know
Yeah.
Indonesian women
Uh-huh.
through the Puteri Indonesia organization already that you are very empowered. At least that's the impression that I get as a
Yeah.
foreigner.
Yeah.
And every time I encountered a Puteri Indonesia lady in any pageant I went to, I was like, oh my god, she is so prepared, she is so well spoken, she is so beautiful, of course, as well, inside and outside, that I was like, I need to work on myself more.
Well, we all do. We all do, right? Like,
Sure.
no one is
but-
perfect. Even a beauty
Mm.
queen feels like there needs to be some things that we need to work on. But I think what's important is being able to look at beautiful women, seeing that we might not have what they have, but we are special in our own unique ways. And instead of
True.
feeling jealous or down or depressed, even sometimes you feel the encouragement to level yourself up and to better yourself and then to learn from each other.
And that is something that, like, for me in general, in a philosophical kind of way, is that we learn until the day we die. Like, it might sound harsh,
Yeah.
but hear me out.
All ears.
Like, in my opinion, a person should be open-minded their entire life long. You should listen to other people. You should try to emphasize with what they are going through, why they are reacting the way they are, and then you just keep on learning. And I call it like sucking up information like a sponge.
Yeah.
So that you don't press it out all at once, but you sometimes, if you share knowledge, another sponge is like getting bigger because of this. So sharing knowledge is actually doubling the knowledge in the world as well. So that is why I'm happy that we are kind of like having the session here as well.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing this, and thank you, Oppal, for allowing this opportunity to happen, because I think this is exactly the kind of platform that we need as beauty queens, because oftentimes we get seen by how we present ourselves physically,
Yeah,
but
because the
Share
show
us
is
out,
basically
right?
the show is basically the tip of the iceberg.
right.
But and then I know people in Germany, they don't value pageants as a lot as Indonesian people, for example. So it's for them second class entertainment. It's incredible to know that soccer games, for example, they are so highly valued in Germany, while beauty pageants are not, because they are like, oh, it's so shallow. But they only see the final show in the end, and then they're like, oh, it's just bikini competitions, women showing off their bodies, and they have nothing in their head. But they don't see that, for example, when we compete internationally, the amount of work that goes in.
Exactly.
For example, competing in Miss International, I didn't have a team behind me apart from a team that was not my national director because he abandoned me, right? So I had to do my national costume myself. I had to arrange everything myself. I had to pay everything myself, the flight tickets, the outfits, everything. I planned everything myself, and I learned how to manage myself in that kind of sense, like in that kind of way. And that already is something that actually brought me further in life,
For sure.
and also kind of giving me the how do you say it? I forgot the word in English. Like, I don't want that other girls go through the same thing that I did. So I try to be there for them as much as possible, and also might establish something like Puteri Indonesia sometime in Germany,
Oh.
because I see
Amen.
how much work Puteri Indonesia organization puts into
Yeah.
you girls, so that you don't have to worry about the things that I did. And I mean, it made me stronger, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Because I know how to manage myself, of course. But at the same time, it is easier, it takes the weight off your shoulders if someone is there to lend you a helping hand,
Of course.
basically.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And we can only hope that hopefully the next coming years you can be a pioneer of what beauty pageant stands for in Germany, because I think
Oh, I definitely am already.
yeah, exactly.
Definitely
And
am.
hopefully through what you're doing now,
Exactly.
it touches and it changes people's mindsets and misconceptions about beauty pageants.
I hope for sure. Like, I have one more thing I want to address, actually,
Mhm.
if you don't mind.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Or
usually
what
I
we're here for.
hear, like, what would you do if you would win the next title? And then I always hear, like, oh, I would do this and that. But for me, for example, it is important, what are you doing already? Not what would you do if you were given that title, because
Amen.
that is something that shows me, okay, you act what you say. So I didn't start to like, for example, in my speech, it's considered the worst of Miss International last year, but I didn't even await to get this far, honestly. And then I was just speaking from my heart, and I was so nervous. I still battle stage fright, and I still battle like speech fright, actually, especially if I'm put into a situation where I'm like in the spotlight. So that sometimes made me doubt myself. I'm like, am I actually suitable for this position? But then at the same time, I found, like, I thought I'm meant to be here because people chose me for a reason.
For sure.
And then I also, like, I read a lot of comments, like, against me, against my speech. They were like, oh my god, why didn't they crown this and that girl? And at the same time, people were like, oh, she didn't rehearse her speech, it came from the heart. So that, it's actually true, it literally came from my heart. Because I just wanted to share what I'm already doing and not what I could do with that title. And I think the judges saw that as well.
Yeah.
Like, I was quoted as Miss International ... pick your trash please
No.
in some YouTube video. And I mean, I said pick up trash from I don't know what place, because it is beneficial for our environment. And that is true. And I said that because that little piece of I don't know, straw, or like the it's
Yeah.
called straw, right?
Yeah,
The-
it is.
So that little piece of straw could actually what do you say?
Hurt.
No, it could, if you pick up that certain piece of straw, it could change the life, or actually also save the life of an animal.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't know that yet because
Yeah.
it hasn't happened yet, but one piece that we pick up can already help a potential, or help to save a potential life.
Yeah.
And that is like also the thing that I live by. Like, even though it is not beneficial to me to do that, I mean, I couldn't care less if there's a piece of straw on the floor, right? But by picking it up, I already think what could possibly happen in the future. And that is the way I also choose my words when I comment on people, for example.
Yeah.
And I know there is a lot of passionate pageant fans in Indonesia and in Asia, for example, or generally all over the world. And then I see them commenting things like about me, for example, as well. I read comments, guys. We all
We're
do.
humans.
We all do. We are human. We have our private lives. We spend our times on the phone as much as you do sometimes. And then we read the comments, and then we see someone commenting jobless or boring about me in particular. And then I'm like, what is that comment supposed to, what do you want to reach by saying that? You're not even saying what I could do better. And then I feel like people comment that they take less than a second to write that little message or
Yeah.
comment somewhere. Then they close their phone, they proceed on with their daily lives. And then we, as the one that was addressed with that comment, we read it, we think like, depends how strong your mental health is, of course.
Yeah.
But you read that comment, you're like, either you're like, this makes me sad, you start crying, and the more that comment or these comments pile up, the sadder you feel. But at the same time, some people are like, I'm nowadays like, okay, that person called me boring or jobless queen, but they don't know what's going on in my life, actually.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
I was 7 weeks in Germany in total. I'm not jobless. I have my private life next to Miss International that I do not share with
Yeah.
internet and the private role. I have a whole ass boyfriend I have to care about, or 2 cats, and I also do like my translating job, of course,
yeah.
and then study next to it, and
And
then
you're doing acting as
I
well.
do acting as well,
Wow.
and I do directing as well, partly, and then I do modeling as well, and then I do all that, but I don't always share that, and people
That's not
forget
jobless.
that.
That's not
not jobless. That's actually very exhausting, for example.
Of course it is, and I think.
But we only share what we. Sorry.
No worries.
We
love.
only share what we want people to see on the internet usually. Sometimes it's not in our hands and people share like, I don't know, stalker photos or something. But then at the same time, yeah, we keep proceeding to think about some comments that someone made, and then we think about it longer than the few seconds that the person took to comment it actually.
Exactly.
And then it can take a toll on our mental health, or you just disregard it as that comment doesn't bother me. But then again, what is very appreciated is like when you say, okay, we don't see much, if she could this and that more, then you can actually start thinking, okay, I can change that. Am I possible to change that, or am I not?
Mhm.
So that's
I get
like
it.
also, I want to share basically that netizens, please be kinder to each other, because even though you're anonymous sometimes, or you're not just there, you still hurt people, real people behind that screen. And please choose your words no matter where you are, because I know a lot of people, they hide behind anonymity and they would never say that to your face. So that is something that bothers me as a person and not just as a pageant queen.
Exactly. Thank you so much for using this opportunity
Thank
to
you.
to highlight this very important message.
I just
'cause-
felt like this needed to be said, because I want to go as like, when I'm finished with my reign, I want to be known as the one who actually said things out loud that other
Exactly.
beauty pageant queens maybe wouldn't say out loud, because I'm, for example, also the only one who also does all the work with other beauty pageant queens, because I am in that position to say, hey, why don't we work together to reach something and not against each other like some pageant systems want to do.
Thank you so much for the inspiring session. I
Thank
felt
you.
like this is something that definitely needs to be heard, dan semoga teman-teman di rumah nanti we'll work on we will work on the subtitle. So more and more.
sorry.
No, love. I mean, not everyone speaks English,
That's
and
true.
I think this is a message
Oh,
that
yeah.
everyone, regardless of language barrier, can understand, because this is very important, and I feel like this is relatable. And regardless whether you are a beauty queen or not, people need to be more mindful and more constructive when they want
Definitely.
to address their messages. And I feel like that is also
Something that
definitely
they
something that you can
hardly do, because when they criticize, they're just throwing mean words out there on the
Exactly.
I
internet.
think you basically already experienced that, didn't you? Or
I mean,
some
almost
of your,
almost
some of your
every
peers?
finalist of Puteri Indonesia, when they came here, one thing in common that we experienced is online bullying, no
Yeah.
matter
Oh,
how
yeah.
perfect they are. And when I said, for example, I also received several comments, for example, and people don't believe that, like, oh, you also get
haters.
haters. Everybody experiences that. That's
Yeah,
how
That's true.
dangerous the social media platform is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, and
No,
I
I
think-
mean, I know literal people who ended their lives because of online bullying. So it actually touches me more, because I have been face to face with that kind of situation, and I found myself in that situation as well at some time in the past. So seeing where I am mental health wise now versus as a teenager,
Yeah.
I've come a long way, and that is like, nowadays I value my mental health so much that I just try to reflect what people said to me, and then just put it in the bin or keep thinking about it. And I only keep thinking about it if it's actually like beneficial, because otherwise it's just bothering me the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, the whole year, whatever time it takes, and it's just taking a toll on you as a person, not just as a beauty queen, because that beauty queen title I have, it doesn't make me a better person. It just gave me the opportunity to talk about things
Amen.
like with you
Amen.
now.
Amen.
Like that's why when someone asked me today on another channel, like, who would you be if you wouldn't have won the title, I would have said, I wouldn't have said, I said that I would be the same person, because I've been only given a platform and not a higher grade or something, or it doesn't make me a better person in general. I'm just a human.
Wow, I think that's a big key takeaway, and that is, like, I feel a very important message that you got to keep close to your heart. As someone who is very recently crowned, is that when you're a beauty queen now, it shouldn't be a transformative one moment process and you turn into a Puteri Indonesia. You stay true to yourself, but you utilize the platform to touch more people's lives. And if I can summarize the insightful conversation that Yasmin was sharing to us, is that it's not only addressing towards haters or internet trolls, to be more mindful of their words and how it affects people. But I think what's also important is the fact that negativity and negative responses we're going to come across that daily. So as a person who receives, who is a victim of that comments, it's important to be able to know how to compartmentalize your mental clarity, knowing which words to take into account and which are the ones that needed to be put in the trash bin.
Exactly,
Like what you say.
literally.
Yeah, so this is very important to be noted down, not just for, the haters or whoever have, we're all human. We've had bad thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
But knowing when to not do it, knowing not to do it at all, and when that happens to us,
It's like in
knowing what to do.
Bambi. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Exactly. I always tell myself, whenever I have a negative emotion and I feel the urge to share that negative emotion, it's always have to pass through certain filters. Is it important? Is it true? Is it necessary?
Does
And
it
is
matter?
It kind? Does it matter? So we know when we speak, we can't always control our thoughts.
Exactly.
But we know the ones that we let out into the universe that touches people's feelings and emotions are the ones that were meant to share and are the ones that are right to be shared.
There is actually a saying in German. If you translate it directly, it means like the way you scream into the forest, the same way it will come back to you. So I think that karma is a very much real thing in life. So karma is gonna get you someday if you keep posting negative comments and mean comments on the internet.
Exactly. We're getting even Japanese. We're getting even German wisdom now.
Literally.
Literally German wisdom. But before we continue, we've had quite some deep talk. I wanted to share with you a little surprise that we arranged for the both of you.
Oh, no way.
As our token of love and appreciation of you being
really?
here and you just getting crowned. If you may look outside, this is a Videotron
Oh, okay.
in one of the, if not the most strategic locations in Jakarta and Indonesia. And this is by Oppal and City Vision.
Really?
Oh.
And yeah, we are showing this to the whole of Jakarta. Basically, I think thousands of people drive here every day, and
Oh my goodness.
we are all. This is our big warm welcome.
Can I take a
Oh
photo?
my
Of
goodness.
Can we
Goosebumps.
stop?
Goosebumps all the way.
Oh my god. I've never seen my face, my name that big on a billboard.
Because I saw you were taking photo of this, and I'm like,
Yes.
just wait, girl.
I
Just
thought,
wait.
oh my goodness. Can we
Thank
step
you,
outside
Oppal.
and take a picture there?
Jadi teman-teman pasti ada rasa penasaran untuk mengetahui sedikit lebih dekat mengenai Puteri Indonesia kita yang baru saja terpilih. Jadi Far, gimana sih rasanya setelah mengenakan borobudur merah di kepalanya Far, yang ada yang sedang bertengger cantik ini? How does it feel to wear this crown for the first time?
To be honest, sama karantina gitu, baru ketemu Laksmi aja udah starstruck gitu loh. Kayak papasan sama Laksmi, Dinda, sama Kak Cindy, udah starstruck. Terus ketemu Kak Ayu, Maulida, and all the other putris udah starstruck. Jadi honestly, I mean, I was aiming to be in the top 3, but not that I was undervaluing myself, but I was imagining myself to be the first or second runner-up, nggak tahu kenapa gitu kan. Jadi when I saw Laksmi last walk, terus mau ngasih crowning ke aku tuh kayak agak-agak mimpi gitu. Jadi benar-benar memorable and will always be the most memorable moment or night in my life, and I hope that I will nail the next year as best as I can.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. It's your first day and you're already shining.
Shining.
She is.
She is,
I
right?
love that.
Love.
The poise and the confidence.
Exactly.
Hopefully she'll radiate that throughout the Miss International
Oh, I bet she
pageant
will.
as well.
If she stays the way she is right now, she definitely will.
That's so kind of you.
Amen. Kita aminin ya teman-teman di rumah.
Yeah.
Puteri Indonesia dan calon Miss Internasional, semoga amin.
Amin.
Amin. Okay. And now back to you.
Mhm.
This is probably a question that you saw coming. You probably don't want to answer, but you gotta answer either way.
Okay.
Because we Indonesians love to know what you eat.
Okay, so
How's Indonesian food has been so far?
very good. I've said it once, I've said it twice. I can just explain it or describe it as very good. Like I've said it today also 100 times. I was like, it has so many different flavors. Like suddenly you have rice with lemongrass instead. You don't really do that in Germany, for example. Or you go to a Asian restaurant and then you get it there. But rice cooked with lemongrass was really good. And nasi goreng, for example. And then actually what I want to eat the most when I visit a foreign country is the foreign fruit that you cannot
Fruit.
get in Europe or in Germany in
Ah.
general.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, in Germany you can buy rambutan sometimes, but it's really expensive.
Yeah.
And then I had snake fruit here for the first time in my entire life.
Wow.
And I don't know, I'm going to be honest, I don't know yet what I think of that fruit. I mean, I kind of liked it, but
Yeah.
at the same time I was like, is that it?
You're still making up your mind?
Yeah, exactly.
like
And
this, if I don't?
think that's allowed. And then I had a lychee like fruit again.
Yeah.
It was really small.
Longan? Is
I
it the
think,
brown one? Smooth skin?
It's like, yeah, I think semi-smooth. like,
longan, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was better than lychee.
Yeah.
For me.
Crunchier a bit, is it? Firmer?
Sweeter, I
Yeah,
think. Even.
sweeter, yeah.
Much sweeter. So that already made me really happy because I love to cook at home. So I know if I look at the recipe, I can basically cook that food at home as well.
Oh.
So I, for example, love to cook Korean food, so I'm already used to eat spicy things. And then when I had some spicy sauce here today, I was asked, "Oh, how is it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Enjoyable?
It's enjoyable." And then that person was like, "Isn't it too spicy for you?" I was like, "No, I'm used to it."
I've had my gochugaru.
Yeah, exactly.
gochujang.
I have a whole lot of gochugaru and gochujang at home, actually.
The way she pronounces it, you know.
I know.
That's very
I
Yeah.
have been learning Korean actually for the
Oh.
past years. I kind of stopped now because I don't use it in my everyday life. I mean, in 2021, I lived there for 3 months and helped build up a company there. So that's what I did there as a 21-year-old.
Wow. Debak.
Yeah, literally debak. But yeah, after coming back from Korea, I kind of stopped using Korean language as well. So kind of starts fading again. Just like I learned Spanish and French in school, and now when I'm in France, I kind of understand French.
Yeah.
And when I'm hearing people speaking Spanish, or when I read these languages, I can also understand them a little, because I also learned Latin in university.
Oh.
And I mean, these three languages are all connected. So, but I wouldn't be able to speak them because these languages are so similar that I begin to mix them up as soon as I try to build a sentence.
Yeah. And you end up making your own mixed up language.
Exactly, but that only happens in my head because I don't try to speak these languages anymore. But it's the same thing with the three languages I already speak fluently, like German, Estonian, and English. Sometimes, especially in English, when I begin to forget words, I'm like, I know the word in German, I know the word in Estonian, but the English one just doesn't come to me.
Oh, see, that's the thing. When you speak too many languages, you kind of like...
It's a first world problem, I guess, but it is real, and that combined with stage fright, it's not a good combination.
Well, hopefully we're learning something new every day. Just being aware of the fact that, oh, I have this,
like, yeah, people just face different challenges in life,
Exactly.
and these are kind of mine that make me with all the quirks that I might have.
yeah.
But I found out that people still love me the way I am, and even though I get
Aw.
like all these negative comments sometimes, I'm just like, okay, it's okay, I have enough people that love me and enough people that value me the way I am. So that's also what I want to give to teenagers, for example. Like, don't let other people bother you that much, because it is you who has to live with yourself in the end of the day, and not the others.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Well, I'm learning a lot of new things from her today, and from you too.
Such a wise queen she is.
Exactly.
At the
'cause-
age of 20?
23.
Are you?
I am.
That's right.
Oh
But at that point, I don't usually speak that much because I don't know why.
the maturity of this queen. I feel like she's one of those people who's like, if she doesn't hold a microphone, you'll never guess the kind of wisdom
That's right.
that's
Like,
coming out of her.
I can do that now because I'm not standing on a stage, and it's because I feel comfortable here. But at the same time, yeah. So every time I get on stage and I have to share my wisdom, I'm like, I cannot put what I want to explain in 3 sentences. It's just not possible.
Oh, right.
Because also the first time I really felt understood when I was attending my philosophy seminars in university, and I was like, my professor gets me, because I kind of sometimes think about things differently than other people do, and then I ask questions that other people think are super like easy to answer, but I want to understand them in a different way. So that is sometimes the reason why when I stand on the stage, I'm also speaking in cryptics. Like, people don't understand me sometimes because I think in a completely different way, and that is the philosophical way, kind
I
of.
see. Gitu,
Like,
Oppal geng.
I'm still getting better. I'm
Yeah.
working on it actively.
One step at a time, right?
Exactly.
You know, initially you say things to yourself, and then you're sharing it in a bus, and then next thing you know, you'll probably have better
See,
time on
that
stage.
is also practice for me right now.
Exactly.
In that sense.
This is practice run for you in the Philippines later, and
Sure, yeah.
Vietnam
Exciting.
later.
But I'm here right now, so let's
Yeah.
focus back on Indonesia. I'm going to
Exactly.
Lampung tomorrow. What do I have to? What will await me there?
What will await her there? You've been to
Oh,
Lampung.
yes.
What kind of
Yes.
area is that?
It's the big theme of this year's Puteri Indonesia.
Okay,
It's
that
such-
that I know. That I
Yes.
know. But tell me more.
Oh.
Well, Lampung, where one of the girls in
Yes.
top 3 is originally from Lampung.
Miss Charm, I think she
Yes,
is now.
correct. Charm
Yeah.
Indonesia. And it was my first time coming to Lampung and just seeing how we were welcomed,
Mhm.
which was amazing, where we had
Mhm.
lunch on the floor because it's an Indonesian tradition.
Okay,
To eat
see,
lunch
that's what I want to hear.
on a
What's the
carpet.
Indonesian tradition?
There are beaches, there are cities, there are villages, and You have probably seen in the grand final stage yesterday where most of our costumes had this kind of a traditional pattern. So
like we had
colorful
with the blue
pattern.
dress, I think.
Yeah.
That
Tapi
is a heritage from Lampung, and just that will tell you a lot of story behind it. So
That's amazing. That already gave me a I can imagine now what will await me there. So thank you for that.
hopefully,
You're
Like-
well briefed.
Like you're just saying you've been only once in Lampung.
Yes.
So that already gives me like, okay, she knows as much as me, but she's still able to tell me enough
Yeah.
that I can already prepare myself a
We
bit.
hope you'll enjoy it.
Oh, I bet that will. I will. I'm happy to see other places than Jakarta.
I know. You've had enough of Jakarta.
No, I mean, I like Jakarta.
Yeah.
I love mega cities. I love the skyline that I can see from my hotel room. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to be outside a bit more because usually I'm always outside
Right.
when I'm in Germany. Like
Right.
I go to the forest, I go to the horse stable, I go pet cows.
I love this
I,
girl.
I walk my cats on a leash.
No way.
I do.
Oh.
That's a bit
like
unusual.
videos.
Cat lady.
I will send them to you. But yeah, I walk my cats on a leash because I don't want them to get run over by a car. There's too many
Safety
cars
first.
in my
Safety
hometown.
first.
Even though it's kind of like a village, I want to have my cats as long as possible. So yeah, and it is also beneficial to have cats as indoor cats or walk them on leash because cats that are just outside all the time, they kill a lot of birds.
Oh.
And we have in Germany the problem that we have, for example, raccoons there, which are not native to Germany, but they are already they are an invasive species. So, for example, having cats on top of that, raccoons eat birds and, of course, their eggs as well. And then having cats on top of that erased our bird population, for example, in Germany, that much
see.
that you don't hear it chirping anymore.
Oh, no.
At some places.
Even in villages?
Yeah, even in villages, you only rarely hear it chirping nowadays.
Oh my god.
So that's also a real problem that I'm gonna address actually as Miss International, because I'm about to meet up with a local cat rescue where we really want to discuss about these topics as well and make there a little queens raising awareness topic out of it.
That's amazing. Wow. This queen is definitely the furthest from jobless. Like,
Thank
how does she
you.
juggle it all?
I do it all behind the scenes because I mean, as I said, I want to act what I do.
Exactly.
So before I say I do it, I rather want to put everything into motion that I can actually show a result as well. So that's why I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, but I'm more like, okay, I posted it now. It's here. I might give a teaser if I'm already almost finished, but we're still on the way, for example, and at that project. So because I haven't been to Germany much, I wasn't able to meet up with them yet and shoot the footage and everything and the talk, of course. So it is like that right now, but I already wanted to give you like a small impression of what I'm gonna do in the future few months.
Super excited to see hopefully some more teasers after things are starting to get hotter and hotter with you and the cat shelter
Thank
project.
you.
Okay, last but not least, something that we've been wanting to ask you. So after being crowned as Puteri Indonesia, apa sih kampanye positif yang Far pengen banget bawa dan pengen share ke teman-teman dan anak-anak muda Indonesia?
Baik, sebenarnya dari tema pemilihan Puteri Indonesia 2023 kemarin, temanya adalah #redefining beauty. Pada awalnya, waktu aku audisi Puteri Indonesia tahun ini, mendengar tema itu aja sebenarnya udah jadi suatu, something new and exhilarating that a beauty pageant like Puteri Indonesia brings forward the theme, redefine beauty. So it means that when I came here and meeting all the 44 other finalists, seneng sih ngelihat perempuan-perempuan dari Aceh sampai Papua itu benar-benar dengan bangga berdiri dan dengan lantang menyebut nama mereka dan percaya diri dengan kecantikan mereka gitu. Benar-benar deh teman-teman, kalau lihat teman-teman finalis angkatanku, they really embrace their own beauty. They're not trying to be somebody else. So the girls from the East Indonesia, for example, they're not trying to straighten their hair for their evening gown, for example. They keep their original hair and they embrace it. The girls wearing hijab, for example, we have 2 girls from Aceh this year, and they're all also embracing their own beauty as as Muslims, you know, their identity. So I'm pretty satisfied, and I hope it's a theme that will open many eyes, that we don't have to we don't have to follow a certain beauty standard, and we don't have to be like a certain somebody to feel beautiful. Everybody deserves to feel beautiful.
Wow, super powerful, and hopefully throughout your reign as Puteri Indonesia, that kind of message can be continuously shared through the teenagers or even
Yes.
anyone who crosses path with you.
Right. Amen.
As I said yesterday, beauty is empowering us all.
Let me give a big
Oh.
heart on that. I mean, it was a simple question, it's a simple answer, but I felt it because I do feel
Yeah.
like it's something that you meant.
See, that is something that I came up with when my mental health was at a bad place.
Aw.
So usually when your mental health goes bad, you start to see things in your everyday life negatively as well.
Yeah.
But at some point, I started appreciating like every little thing that was like giving me some kind of hope or that I thought was beautiful. So I was just looking at some houses and I was like, oh, that's a pretty house. And I said it out loud to me. So that's what I meant with beauty is literally everywhere. Like in every little detail that we encounter in our everyday life, there is some beauty in each of us. Just like yin and yang.
Yeah.
Like there's something good and in something bad. And there's something bad in something good. So just like that, I approach this kind of topic as well.
And that is why this queen needs more time on the stage because there needs to have this, you know.
I
You
need to
this,
have
like,
a whole
additional-
TED talk
I
at that
know,
point.
I know.
Am I allowed to mention that? I need to have my own podcast.
She needs to have her own podcast, Oppal. Okay, thank you so much, queens, for making time amidst your busy schedule. And though you've had lack of rest, you're still shining and inspiring as always. Oke, sebelum kita tutup podcast hari ini, mungkin ada beberapa hal yang ingin disampaikan. Yasmin, is there anything that you want to add?
I also need to thank Yayasan Puteri Indonesia, Mustika Ratu, and of course, Oppal.
Oh, spoken like a true Indonesian queen.
Terima
Fat?
kasih Yayasan Puteri Indonesia, terima kasih Mustika Ratu, dan terima kasih Oppal.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Jangan lupa untuk stay tune di YouTube, Instagram, social media account-nya Oppal karena ada banyak banget konten-konten terkait pemilihan Puteri Indonesia dan perjalanan Puteri Indonesia tahun 2023. Sampai ketemu, Oppal Gang!